Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. For today's video, we are going to make the trending 2D comic cake. I'm gonna be teaching the secrets on how to make those perfect outlines, so do stick around. Starting with an assembled cake, I'm using mango cake. I'm just gonna place the frosting evenly by using a piping bag. Now, I made sure that the piping would be a little bit thicker because I know I'm gonna scrape a lot to make sure that the heart design or the heart shape would still be intact. I'm using whipped cream as my frosting, so I'm just gonna level out the top, and as you can see, I'm scraping a lot of it just to make sure that it's leveled out. And using my handy dandy very thin scraper, which is actually a lifesaver for most of the bakers, I'm gonna go ahead and scrape out the sides and just make sure that that curve on the top of the heart is still very prominent. So I went back and forth and made sure that I have to scrape out through the spatula some icing that is sticking on my plastic scraper. After that, once I am already contented with how the sides look, I went ahead and leveled out the tops. So to achieve the sharp edge on the top, you have to make sure that you are very light with your hand on scraping out the excess frosting, and every time you take out the frosting, scrape it out from your scraper using a spatula. So I went ahead and cleaned out my board and make sure that every corner is already ready for decorations. And then I'm gonna set this aside. So this is my secret to very perfect black outlines: gel food color and buttercream. So I'm just gonna mix this out and let it sit for a bit so that the black color will further develop. After that, I went ahead and get back to the cake and decorate the board. So I'm making this little melty stuff on the sides just using a frosting with a different color. Then I leveled it out using a spatula and making sure that I'm gonna do it slowly so that I won't be poking the sides of the cake. For the parts that needs a lot more frosting, I went ahead and went back to that sparse area and placed a little bit of frosting. And then I'm using a piping bag with a very small hole so that I can have full control of how much frosting I'd be placing on that part. There's another useful tip for areas where you want your frosting to be smooth, especially if it's whipping cream. What you're gonna do is just dip your spatula in hot water, wipe it off clean, and this hot spatula will make the surface of your frosting smooth. So on to the top decorations. I'm using a closed star tip to make that frills on the top. So I just wiggle it left and right and pull it slightly. Now once we're done with the frills, we're gonna go ahead and place our cherries on top of it. Make sure that your cherries are well dried out because you don't want dripping red cherry juice to be on your cake, and that's going to be a mess. Once we're done with the toppings, let's go ahead and place and prepare for our outline. So what I'm using is a small circle tip number 1 nozzle to make that outline. So there's a lot of reasons why I'm using buttercream instead of chocolate to do the outline. Number 1, when you use chocolate, it actually transfers, or the brown color will transfer to your whipping cream. Secondly, if you're gonna cut into it, it's gonna be hard, so it's gonna break apart when you start cutting your cake. Thirdly, the problem with chocolate is that when you pipe, you need to work so fast because it's gonna harden up, and that tip right there will be clogged up with chocolate if you're gonna work so slow. So that's the reason why I prefer buttercream over chocolate to be used. It's very easy to place on the outline and it's not hard on your hand. It's just so smooth. You can and will be able to finish up the squiggles that I'm doing right now over that swirls in a manner where you are not going to be pressured to do it as fast as you can. Of course, this video is fast forwarded just so you guys won't get bored, but in reality, you're gonna take some time making those outlines so that it would look beautiful. So I also placed an outline on the sides just to make sure that the top part won't look like it's floating. I placed the lettering on the top using whipped cream frosting, and then I went ahead and placed highlights on the sides also, so it seems like there is a highlight or the light reflecting over the subject. So I placed in buttercream with white gel food color. Remember recording this one in the morning, so the highlights were placed in the morning already while the black outlines were placed the night before. So as you noticed, the black food color did not transfer onto the whipping cream, and that's the reason why I like using buttercream. So I went ahead and placed highlights also on the bottom of the cake, and I tried placing the highlights on the top of the lettering. I did experimented a bit on placing the highlights, and I realized it doesn't look that good, so I went ahead and just placed the whole highlight over that whole word love, and it turned out a little bit more beautiful than when I just placed it sparsely. Now our cake is done. I hope you guys like this cake decorating videos, and if you do like it, do consider subscribing to our channel because I will be uploading more every week. And as always, thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye!